Welcome back to the deep dive. You know, today we're going to be tackling something pretty epic.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the 53rd hexagram of the I Ching,
Okay.
Jian.
Jian.
It means gradual progress.
Right.
You specifically wanted to understand this one, and we've got some really fascinating excerpts from an explanatory text
Cool.
to guide us.
Okay, I'm excited.
Yeah, buckle up because we're talking about a phoenix,
Wow.
a dynasty that lasts 800 years, a wild goose,
All right.
and even a warning about getting too caught up in pleasure.
Oh, this is going to be good.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it's amazing how much wisdom is packed into just this one hexagram.
I know.
It's not even just about patience.
Right.
It's about understanding how all those little tiny actions that you do consistently can build into something truly remarkable.
So true. Okay, so let's break down like the basics first.
Sure.
Jian is made up of two trigrams.
Okay.
Sun, which represents wind, over Jian, representing the mountain.
And that's where this idea of gradual progress really comes to life.
Yeah.
You know, wind, constant, persistent.
Right.
It slowly shapes the mountain.
Yeah.
It's like saying that even the most unyielding obstacles can be overcome
Wow.
with that consistent effort.
I love that imagery. So powerful.
Yeah.
And then the text goes on to tell this incredible story about a phoenix landing on West T Mountain.
Okay.
Its cries herald the arrival of wise sages.
All right.
And then, boom, a dynasty is born that lasts for 800 years.
Oh, wow. That's quite the story.
I know.
But what's the connection to gradual progress?
Yeah, is it just saying that good things take time?
It's a little deeper than that.
Okay.
The phoenix is often seen as a symbol of transformation and renewal.
Right.
So I think this story is suggesting that these periods of gradual progress can lead to these incredible outcomes.
Yeah.
Things that we can't even imagine at the start.
Totally. Okay, so trust the process, even when it feels slow. Got it.
But there's also that warning about sensuality.
Oh, yeah.
And errors in documents.
Right. What's that all about?
It seems a little bit out of place.
It does.
It's like a reminder to stay focused.
Yeah.
Even when things are going well.
Okay.
Sensuality here could mean getting swept away by immediate pleasures.
Right.
Losing sight of your long-term goals.
I see.
And errors in documents.
Yeah.
That could be about carelessness or a lack of attention to detail.
Right.
Little things that can undermine even the strongest foundation.
So it's like enjoy the journey, but don't let the distractions derail you.
Exactly.
From what you're really trying to build. Which honestly is good advice for just about everything in life.
Yeah, gradual progress isn't just about waiting.
Right.
It's about actively shaping your path.
Yeah.
While staying mindful of those potential pitfalls.
So how does Jian relate to things like love and marriage?
Ooh, that's a good question.
You know, I know you're interested in how the I Ching applies to different areas of life.
Well, in matters of the heart, Jian advises a very measured, gradual approach.
Yeah.
Cautions against whirlwind romances.
Right.
It's suggesting that lasting love is built over time.
I like that.
And there's this curious detail about marriage, pointing towards remarriage.
Remarriage. That's interesting. What do you make of that?
It could suggest second chances.
Okay.
Or maybe the idea that we can learn from past relationships to build stronger ones in the future.
Or maybe it's about the gradual progress that we make within a single relationship.
Yeah.
You know, constantly learning and growing together.
That's a great point.
Right.
It highlights how Jian can apply to the evolution of something over time.
Yes.
Not just the starting point.
Right.
It's a reminder that even long-term commitments require that ongoing effort and adaptation.
So we've got gradual growth, potentially bright future,
Okay.
but some warnings to keep in mind.
Right.
What else does this hexagram have in store for us?
Oh, boy.
I'm a little nervous to ask, but what does it say about health?
Well, it does mention some potential health challenges.
Okay.
Specifically, it points to stomach issues,
Okay.
intestinal problems, and back pain.
Oh, that's not great news. But I'm wondering if there's a way to view these challenges through the lens of gradual progress.
Absolutely. Think about it. Overcoming any health issue.
Right.
It's like achieving any goal.
Yeah.
Often requires that time, patience, and consistent effort.
I see.
It's about making gradual improvements.
Yeah.
Not expecting overnight miracles.
Okay, so even when dealing with setbacks, the idea is to focus on those small positive steps.
Exactly.
Right.
It's not about denying the difficulty,
Right.
but approaching it with that steady determination that we apply to other areas of life.
And speaking of setbacks, remember that mention of losing items?
Oh, yeah. What was that about?
Did it offer any advice on finding those lost things?
It actually suggests the opposite.
What?
That recovering lost items
Oh, no.
might be unlikely. But maybe that's another subtle lesson about gradual progress.
You mean accepting the loss?
Yeah.
And focusing on building something new?
Perhaps. It's a reminder that sometimes progress involves letting go of the past.
Okay.
And embracing new possibilities.
This is getting deep.
I know, right?
I'm starting to see how this idea of gradual progress can apply to so many different aspects of life.
That's true.
It's not just about waiting for things to happen. It's about actively shaping our path.
Yeah.
Even when faced with challenges.
And that's where those fascinating stories within the hexagram come in.
Okay.
Each line of Jian features a wild goose at a different stage of its journey.
Oh, wow.
From the shore to the cloud heights.
Okay, now those goose stories sound intriguing.
I know they're great.
Tell me more.
Well, each stage represents a different phase of gradual progress.
Okay.
With its own unique challenges and rewards.
Okay.
It's like a step-by-step guide to navigating the journey of growth and transformation.
Wow, I'm already hooked. I can't wait to hear about those different stages.
We'll definitely dive into those in part 2.
Okay.
But for now, let's take a moment to reflect on what we've covered so far.
Okay, let's see. We talked about the symbolism of the wind and the mountain.
Yeah.
The story of the phoenix. The warnings about getting sidetracked.
Right.
And the importance of a gradual approach in love and even in dealing with health challenges.
It's a lot to process.
It is. It's a lot to process.
But we've only just begun to scratch the surface.
I know.
But before we move on to those goose stories,
Okay.
what's one thing that's really standing out to you about this hexagram so far? What's resonating the most?
All right, we're back and ready to dive into those goose stories.
Yes.
I'm picturing a wild goose flying from the shore to the cloud heights.
Yeah.
What a journey.
It is.
But how does that relate to gradual progress?
Well, it's not just about the journey itself.
Right.
It's about the different stages
Oh, okay.
along the way.
Uh-huh.
Each line of the hexagram focuses on the goose.
Yeah.
At a specific point in its journey.
Okay.
And those points offer insights into how we approach
Right.
our own gradual progress.
So each stage is like a snapshot,
Yeah.
a mini lesson within the larger journey.
Exactly.
I like that. Where does the goose start?
It begins at the shore,
Okay.
which in the context of Jian might symbolize the very beginning of a new endeavor.
Right.
The text mentions a maiden being given in marriage,
Uh-huh.
highlighting the idea of a fresh start,
Okay.
a commitment to something new.
So it's like saying I'm ready to embark on this path.
Yes.
Even though I'm not entirely sure where it will lead.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the text emphasizes that perseverance is key at this stage.
Okay.
It's that initial commitment,
Yeah.
that willingness to step onto the path
Right.
that sets everything in motion.
Okay, so we have that first step, the commitment.
Yeah.
Then what? Does the goose just fly straight to the top?
Not quite.
Okay.
The second line brings the goose to a rock, a place of temporary rest.
Right.
Here the text talks about eating and drinking joyfully.
Okay, that sounds like a nice break. I could use some of that eating and drinking joyfully in my life right now. What's the significance of this stage?
I think it highlights the importance of savoring the journey,
Okay.
of allowing ourselves those moments of enjoyment
Right.
and satisfaction along the way.
Mm-hmm.
It's a reminder that gradual progress isn't just about striving.
Yeah.
It's also about appreciating the small wins
Okay.
and finding those moments of contentment amidst the effort.
That's a good reminder. Sometimes I get so focused on the end goal that I forget to enjoy the process.
Yeah, it's easy to do.
It is. But then what about line 3?
Yeah.
We talked about it earlier. That was the plateau, right?
Yes.
The one with the misfortune label.
Right. The plateau seems to represent a period of challenges
Yeah.
and setbacks.
Okay.
A time when things just don't go as planned.
Right.
The text tells a story about a husband who doesn't return from an expedition and a wife who becomes pregnant but doesn't give birth.
That sounds pretty rough. What's the lesson there? Feels like a stark contrast to the joyful feasting on the rock.
It's a reminder that even on a path of gradual progress,
Yeah.
there will be those difficult moments.
Right.
Times when we face lost disappointment
Yeah.
or unexpected obstacles.
It's about acknowledging those challenges
Yes.
without letting them derail us from the bigger journey.
Exactly.
So it's not about avoiding difficulty, but rather learning to navigate it.
Right. How does the goose move forward from this difficult stage?
Yeah, how does it?
Well, line 4 brings the goose to a tree.
Okay.
And this time there's a sense of hope.
Okay.
The text says it perhaps will find a flat branch.
Perhaps. So it's not guaranteed, but there's a chance for respite.
Yeah.
After the challenges of the plateau.
Exactly. It's like saying that even in the midst of difficult times,
Right.
there are those opportunities for rest and recovery.
Okay.
It's a reminder to be patient with ourselves, to allow time for healing, and to trust that eventually we'll find a place to regroup and gather strength.
I love that imagery.
It's powerful.
It's like that saying, sometimes you have to rest to gather the strength to keep going.
Exactly.
Okay, so the goose is rested, maybe regained some strength. What happens next?
Line 5 takes us to the summit.
Okay, the summit.
And here we encounter a powerful story
Okay.
of perseverance.
Okay.
It's the story of a woman who doesn't conceive for 3 years,
Oh, right.
but ultimately succeeds.
Right, we talked about that earlier. The woman who waits for 3 years.
Yeah.
That's a serious commitment to gradual progress.
It is. And the text emphasizes that in the end, nothing can hinder her.
Wow.
It's a reminder that when we stay true to our goals, even in the face of setbacks and delays, we can eventually overcome them.
It's like saying that patience and persistent effort can move mountains.
Literally in the goose's case.
Literally in the goose's case. It's so inspiring.
Yeah.
But what about the final stage? What happens when the goose reaches the cloud heights?
That's where things get really interesting.
Oh, really?
The text says that at this stage, the goose's feathers can be used for a sacred dance.
A sacred dance? I wouldn't have guessed that. What's the meaning behind that imagery?
I think it's a beautiful way of saying that after all the challenges and triumphs of the journey, you reach a point where your experiences, your feathers, so to speak, become valuable offerings.
Offerings to what?
Perhaps to something greater than yourself.
Okay.
Maybe it's about contributing to your community, sharing your wisdom, or leaving a positive impact on the world.
That's a powerful way to think about the culmination of gradual progress.
It is.
It's not just about personal achievement. It's about using what you've learned and experienced to make a difference.
Exactly. It suggests that the true reward of the journey lies not just in reaching the destination, but in what you do with the journey itself.
So the goose imagery has taken us from that initial commitment at the shore, through challenges, rest, perseverance, and finally to a place of offering.
Beautiful.
It's incredible how much meaning is packed into those 6 lines.
It really is. And it highlights how Jian provides this framework for understanding.
Okay.
Not just the big picture of gradual progress, but also the nuances of each stage along the way.
But we still haven't addressed a few things that were mentioned in the text.
Oh yeah, like what?
The health challenges, the loss of items, and even that cryptic note about legal matters.
You're right. We can't forget about those.
We can't.
It's important to consider how those aspects fit into the overall picture of gradual progress.
Okay, so we've got the goose's journey, which feels like a roadmap for navigating the ups and downs of growth and transformation.
Right.
Now let's see how those other pieces fit into the puzzle. Where should we start? Okay, so we left off talking about how the goose imagery, really lays out this roadmap for navigating the ups and downs of growth and transformation.
Yeah, definitely.
But now it's time to look at these more, cryptic elements from the text.
Ouch.
Like those health challenges, the lost items, even legal matters.
Right.
So how do those fit into this idea of gradual progress?
Well, I think they represent this reality that even on a path of steady growth, we're going to encounter obstacles.
Right, of course.
And Jian doesn't shy away from that. You know, it acknowledges the full spectrum of experience.
Okay, so let's start with health.
Okay.
The text mentions specific ailments like stomach issues, intestinal problems, back pain.
Yeah.
So what's the message there? Is it like a warning, or is there something deeper there?
I don't think it's necessarily like a prediction of doom and gloom.
Right.
Remember, the I Ching is about understanding these patterns and tendencies.
Okay.
So this might be a reminder that even as we make gradual progress in other areas of life, our physical well-being requires that ongoing attention.
So it's like a call to apply the principles of Jian to our health. Small, consistent actions, healthy eating exercise can create significant change over time.
Exactly. And just as Jian teaches us to persevere through challenges, in other areas, it reminds us that overcoming health issues also requires that patience and sustained effort.
Okay, that makes sense. It's about bringing that same steady, gradual approach to our physical well-being.
Yeah.
Now, what about losing items?
Okay.
The text suggests that recovering lost things might be Unlikely?
Right.
Is that just ancient pessimism, or is there more to it than that?
It's easy to get caught up in the literal interpretation.
Okay.
But you got to remember that Yi Jing often speaks in this very symbolic language.
Right.
So perhaps losing items represents those inevitable setbacks and losses we all experience in life.
Okay.
Missed opportunities, broken relationships, things we can't get back.
So it's not about physically losing your keys or your wallet. It's about those bigger losses that can sometimes feel like they're holding us back. So what's the message there? Is it about accepting loss and moving on?
It could be. Maybe Jian is suggesting that instead of dwelling on what's gone, we focus our energy on building something new.
Okay.
And that's where the idea of gradual progress comes in again.
Okay.
Accepting the loss, grieving it if necessary, and then taking those small, consistent steps toward creating something different, something better.
So even loss can be a catalyst for growth.
It can.
It's like saying, okay, that chapter's closed, but now I have the opportunity to write a new one.
Exactly.
That's actually pretty empowering.
It is. It's about recognizing that those setbacks, even painful ones, are part of the natural flow of life.
Right.
And by applying these principles of Jian, we can use those experiences to become more resilient and to create something even more meaningful.
Okay, so we've covered health and loss. What about legal matters?
Okay.
The text mentioned something about advancing and not retreating in legal situations. It sounds like a call to action.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah. What do you make of that?
It seems to be saying that in situations where we need to stand up for what's right, passivity isn't the answer.
Okay.
But notice it also emphasizes that winning is possible if one fights with reason.
So it's not about blindly charging into battle.
Right.
It's about approaching these challenges with a clear head, strategic mindset, a commitment to fairness.
Exactly. It's about bringing that steady, gradual approach to conflict resolution.
Okay.
Being persistent in our pursuit of justice, but doing so in a way that is thoughtful, measured and grounded in reason.
This has been such an eye-opening deep dive.
It has.
We've gone way beyond just the surface-level understanding of Jian and uncovered so much richness and depth.
Totally. It's a testament to the power of the I Ching.
Right.
To offer this guidance and insight that's still relevant today.
Even after thousands of years.
I know, it's incredible.
So as we wrap things up, what's one key takeaway?
You hope our listener will walk away with. What's the essence of Jian?
I think it's this understanding that true lasting change often happens gradually. Through consistent effort, patience, and a willingness to navigate those inevitable challenges along the way.
It's not about seeking instant gratification, but rather embracing the journey itself.
Beautifully said. And recognizing that even those setbacks and losses can be opportunities for growth and transformation if we approach them with the right mindset.
It's about finding that balance between ambition and mindfulness, between striving and accepting.
Well said. As we conclude our deep dive into Jian, I'd like to leave our listener with this question to ponder. What area of your life could benefit from a more gradual, intentional approach? What small step can you take today to set yourself on that path of steady, meaningful progress? Remember, even the smallest action taken consistently can create incredible results over time. And with that inspiring thought, we'll wrap up this episode of The Deep Dive. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the wisdom of Jian. Until next time, happy exploring.